Hello friends, myself Jinal Mistry from Catalyst Classes, Silvassa. In the last class we had studied about the non-cyclic photophosphorylation, and then we had discussed that how in the light reaction the chemiosmotic hypothesis takes place for the synthesis of ATP. Now we will study that in the next part. We have also already studied about the Kelvin cycle or the C3 cycle which takes place, which is called as the dark reaction, right? Now we are going to study one more phenomenon which is found in certain plants, which is called as photorespiration. Right? Now, basically in plants what happens is during the photosynthesis process, as we had discussed earlier also, there will be first light reaction taking place, which results into the formation of ATP and NADPH. After this, the dark reaction takes place, during which sugar molecule, or basically you can say the glucose, is synthesized as a result of the photosynthesis process. Now these light reaction, it is going to take place in the chloroplast, specifically in the thylakoid membrane in the presence of light, wherein the cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation takes place, whereas the dark reaction takes place in the stroma. This takes place in the thylakoid, whereas this takes place in the stroma, which is all the C3 cycle. Already my video for C3 plants or C3 pathway is already put ahead. So today we are going to see that the enzyme which is responsible in synthesis of these glucose molecules, that is Rubisco. The enzyme is Rubisco, which stands for ribulose biphosphate carboxylase oxygenase. Now, the name itself suggests that the enzyme has the ability to bind with both carbon dioxide as well as oxygen. So basically, in the presence of this Rubisco enzyme in C3 plants, the RUBP, a 5-carbon compound, is binding with carbon dioxide to form the sugar molecule. Whereas there are certain plants in which you will find that instead of binding to carbon dioxide, in the presence of this Rubisco enzyme, RUBP binds to oxygen, and during this process sugar molecule is not formed. Instead, carbon dioxide is released. So you can say that whenever RUBP binds with oxygen, that means the Rubisco enzyme is right now showing its oxygenase ability. It is going to release oxygen. It is going to fix oxygen and release carbon dioxide, whereas during the photosynthesis process, it fixes carbon dioxide, and during the same process, oxygen is released. So, in these plants, wherein, or you can say, whenever the Rubisco enzyme shows the oxygenase property, it is going to fix oxygen and release carbon dioxide, which is the process completely opposite to photosynthesis. And of course, during these process, there is no glucose molecule synthesized. So basically, you can say that whenever Rubisco is going to act as an oxygenase enzyme, it is going to undo the process of photosynthesis. That means whatever carbon compound, sugar is of course a carbon compound, right? Whatever carbon compound was formed as a result of the photosynthesis process during the C3 pathway, if the Rubisco enzyme shows the oxygenase property, then it is going to undo the process. It is neither going to form the sugar molecule, and it is actually going to fix oxygen and release carbon dioxide, which is the process completely opposite to the photosynthesis process. So let us study that why or what are the conditions which makes Rubisco enzyme to act as an oxygenase. So what happens is, two conditions actually. Okay, let me write first what exactly is happening in photorespiration. RUBP binds with oxygen instead of carbon dioxide in the presence of the Rubisco enzyme, which is acting as an oxygenase enzyme and releasing carbon dioxide, a process completely opposite to that of photosynthesis. Now, what are the conditions actually which results in, resulting of the RUBP binding to oxygen or Rubisco acting as an oxygenase enzyme? What happens here? The first condition is temperature increase. If there is increase in temperature, then the RUBP, or you can say the Rubisco enzyme, actually acts as an oxygenase enzyme instead of acting as carboxylase. And the second condition during which Rubisco is going to act as an oxygenase enzyme is increased concentration of oxygen in atmosphere. So if these two conditions are present in the environment, then the Rubisco is going to act as an oxygenase enzyme, right? Now normally you know that RUBP reacts with carbon dioxide to form the phosphoglyceric acid, the acid with 3 carbons, and that was also called as a C3 pathway, which takes place in C3 plants. These photorespiration process, why it is called as photorespiration? Let us try and understand that thing now. As I told you, here RUBP is going to react with oxygen. That means intake of oxygen takes place. Oxygen is intaken, right? And what is released? Carbon dioxide. So this is the process actually which takes place during cellular respiration, or whenever an organism respires. The organism takes in oxygen and releases out carbon dioxide. And since the same process is taking place, here it is called as respiration. Why it is called as photorespiration? Because it is taking place in the presence of light. So instead of carrying out the complete dark reaction which takes place in C3 plants, or the Kelvin cycle which takes place, basically if the Rubisco acts as an oxygenase enzyme, it is going to release out carbon dioxide. Repeating again, a process completely opposite to the process of photosynthesis. Now, what are the conditions? As I said, increase in temperature as well as increased concentration of oxygen in the atmosphere. As a result, this complete process will be called as the process of photorespiration. Now, in the process of photorespiration, or the photorespiration cycle, 3 organelles are involved: chloroplast, peroxisomes and mitochondria. Chloroplast, peroxisome and mitochondria. Now what exactly happens here is, if you see here, RUBP, the 5-carbon acceptor molecule which is present in the chloroplast, binds with oxygenase in the presence of Rubisco enzyme, which is acting as oxygenase enzyme. And what is formed is 2-phosphoglycolate. Now, this phosphoglycolate which is formed, as I have written here, it is a 2-carbon molecule. And as a result, this pathway, photorespiration, is also called as C2 pathway, or the plants in which this photorespiration process takes place, they can also be called as the C2 plants. Now, this phosphoglycolate which is formed in the chloroplast gets converted into glycolate. The phosphate group is removed. And that glycolate now transfers from the chloroplast into the peroxisome. In the peroxisome, glycolate is actually converted into glyoxylate. And that glyoxylate is finally converted into glycine molecule. This glycine molecule from the peroxisome gets transferred into the mitochondria. Now here, from the glyoxylate molecules, 2 molecules of glycine will be formed. And those 2 molecules of glycine are transferred from the peroxisome into the mitochondria, where the two glycine molecules which are formed will be converted into one molecule of serine. Two molecules of glycine are converted into one molecule of serine. Now what happens when this conversion takes place? There will be ammonia or amino group released, and there will be release of carbon dioxide. As I said here, what happens in photorespiration? RUBP reacts with oxygen to release carbon dioxide. So the oxygen was fixed in the chloroplast and the carbon dioxide molecule was released in the mitochondria. Very, very important from entrance exam point of view, because many questions are generally asked related to this step. That where exactly is carbon dioxide released during the process of photosynthesis? So it is released in mitochondria, while two molecules of glycine are converted into the one molecule of serine. Okay, now this ammonia which is released into the mitochondria goes back to peroxisome, where it is responsible for formation of glycine again. Okay, so this ammonia continuously keeps on transferring or moving from the peroxisome to mitochondria and back to the peroxisome for formation of these glycine. The serine which is formed in mitochondria is also transferred into peroxisome, where it is converted into hydroxypyruvate, and these hydroxypyruvate is converted into glycerate. The glycerate formed in the peroxisome now travels back into the chloroplast, and in the chloroplast the glycerate is converted into 3-PGA, that is phosphoglyceric acid. And when this conversion takes place, one molecule of ATP is actually utilized. So basically what you see is, now these PGA which is formed again will be used to regenerate the RUBP to continue the cycle, right? So what you can see here is, photorespiration is a process wherein oxygen is fixed, carbon dioxide is released with expenditure of one ATP molecule. Now, this photorespiration actually proves to be disadvantageous to the plants. The reason is, instead of fixing carbon dioxide to synthesize the glucose, what happens in photosynthesis, right? What is happening in photosynthesis? Carbon dioxide reacts with water to form the glucose molecule, right? And release oxygen. But here complete opposite process is taking place. Carbon dioxide is being released. So there will be no formation of glucose molecule in the plants. So there will be no food available for the plants. So, and of course here ATP is being utilized instead of formation, which takes place in the dark reaction of photosynthesis. So basically photorespiration proves to be disadvantageous for these plants in which it takes place. Basically, as I said, whenever there is increase in temperature, the photorespiration is going to take place. So you can say that the process of photorespiration takes place in the plants of temperate regions. Example of plants can be wheat, rice, sorghum, etc. But you need to remember that it is most commonly found in these plants. But you need to remember that any kind of plant which is present in the surrounding where there is increase in temperature and there is increased concentration of oxygen, there will be photorespiration process taking place. Okay, so plants, they have to find out another mechanism to avoid photorespiration. So these plants in which generally photorespiration takes place, they have adapted a mechanism, and as a result they will be also called as a C4 plants. They have adapted a mechanism to avoid the process of photosynthesis. So in the next video we will see that what happens or what is the adaptation done by these plants to avoid the process of photorespiration. Thank you.